Welcome back. In the studio with me this morning is the public affairs analyst, Imandi Ezenago. Here he is to discuss the papers that we have for review this morning. Good morning, Imandi.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
And quickly, let us get down to the business of the day. And the first paper that we'll be discussing this morning will be the Daily Times. And the banner headline is saying, Federal government won't tolerate subversion of democratic government. That's coming from the AGF. Says laws of the land have made copious provisions on how to deal with treasonable acts. And at the mast of the Daily Times, you'll see why fuel queues persist. Pengerson, president, says. ICPC warns against undermining Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. Angry Chinese investor seizes another jet from Nigeria in Canada. Federal government to prosecute foreigners found funding banditry for economic sabotage. Tinubu congratulates Justice Ariwoola on successful public service career. To swear in Justice Ariwoola's successor today, approves 10 billion grants for DSO. COAS orders investigation into alleged killing of 3 locals' cattle in Kaduna. Well, the last part there wasn't too interesting, but then let us get to the nitty-gritty of the business we have today. Federal government won't tolerate subversion of democratic government. That's coming from the AGF. There's no country in its right thinking that would definitely tolerate subversion when you see it coming or when you know about it. So, to me, the AGF making up, saying this is a welcome development, and we expect very much more on that. Says laws of the land have made copious provision on how to deal with treasonable acts. That's interesting. What's your take on that? When you line it up with the angry Chinese investor seizes another jet from Nigeria in Canada.
All these news that we keep seeing or reading or even hearing every day is not even encouraging to some extent. The federal government is saying that that they won't tolerate subversion of democracy. Is a welcome development. No government to tolerate that. Even in a small organization, the leaders there won't even tolerate that. So at the end of the day, what we'll be talking about is what problem came up before these people start thinking about subversion of democracy. This is what we should ask ourselves. Now, coming to the Chinese seizing another jet is what we are still, the federal government is still battling with. I think 3 were seized, and then within this week, 1 was released, and coming to hear this morning that another one has been, or rather yesterday, that another one has been seized. This is because of the breach, or should I say, the business contract was breached, and it brought about that. So seizing the jets it's a slap on Nigerian democracy. It's a slap on Nigerian leadership. It's a slap to us as a nation. Coming to seize our jets. Anyway, we've been asking, is it only jets that the Chinese people will be seizing? But let's keep our fingers crossed and watch what will happen in the next couple of days. Let us know if Nigeria will work towards to ensure that these flights, or jets rather, will be released anytime soon, if they will cooperate to that. Because I think they passed through 4 courts, and at the end of the day they lost in all the courts and all that. So and that will serve as a lesson that whatever thing that Nigeria, whatever business transaction that Nigeria is doing with any country, Nigeria is fond of bridging whatever contract they have with. So this will serve as a lesson to our leaders that are going through the contracts. And you know that this problem started from the former governor of Ogun State, that's Senator Amosun. Is his problem, is his case that is causing all this issue that we currently have. So as we go on, let's see how things will unveil in the next days.
Thank you so much for that. Quickly, let's go to Punch newspaper, the next paper for review this morning. Landowners sue federal government over 15 trillion Lagos Calabar highway. And the writers there says, Umai, that's the minister for works, vows to continue project, insist government paying compensation. Federal government rules out new roads in 2025, plans to complete existing projects. There on the mast, you'll find Dangote Refinery begins petrol production test run. Tinubu cuts short France trip, swears in CGN today. NNPC director's expense jumped by 214%. That's coming from reports. And then you see Minister writes Finance Ministry over SANU and NASU withheld salaries. 6 EndSARS protesters freed after 4 years detention. Bandits killed 13 Niger farmers, allege leaked information. Because of want of time, let's see if we can take another paper. The next paper there is the Vanguard newspaper. And we have End Bad Governance. Release detained protesters now on Nikon. Arewa Youth, CSOs. You have at the mass there, Nigeria's trade surplus rises by 145% to $8.26 billion. State House 2025 budget will be on actual requirements. That's coming from the presidency. Pay rise. NBA asks judges to revive public trust. Ajeru police summon. Obi cautions federal government as Nupeng puts oil workers on red alert. That's all we have here on the Vanguard. Okay, let me pick this sports story. Sports, you can find out on page 31 of the Vanguard. 2024 Paralympics, Team Nigeria arrive Paris, promise podium performance. Well, that will come as a relief based on what's happened at the Real Olympics itself. Now, talking about Dangote Refinery beginning production test run. Is that a welcome development based on the cues that we are presently witnessing around the country?
I think it's a two-way answer. It's a welcome development to some extent. At least but it should also be challenging because it's a private sector, in the sense that the test run, how sure are we that this test run will function, and at the end of the day, when it will start functioning eventually? Because one of our major problems is petrol. That's the PMS. That's our major problem in this country. And coming to that, we are also told that the Port Harcourt refinery will start also functioning by next month. So we don't know if it will be by first week of next month, second week, or towards the end of the next month, or as usual, they might extend it to October because they keep giving us promises. So it's a welcome development at the end of the day that he has been allowed to function after long battle with the federal government and the Ministry of Petroleum. It's a welcome development, and we are happy for that. So what we will also try to know the loading price, because the loading price at the refinery will determine what the marketers will sell to the final consumers. So let's keep our fingers crossed and watch how Dangote will sell his price, if it will be lower than what NNPCL provides for the nation.
Well, we have a whole lot to really wait to see what will happen when that happens, because talking about ending fuel subsidy and the export of Nigerian crude and the import of finished products, a lot really has to be, the price will definitely reflect a whole lot. But then, that is something that we would get to wait to see. Emandi, landowners sue federal government over 15 trillion Lagos-Calabar highway. Most times, whenever they talk about this Lagos-Calabar highway, they keep telling us, they keep inserting the amount. I don't know. Is that amount, is it to make us understand that this is what probably maybe the biggest project Nigeria has ever undergone? You understand? And then coming to tell us that federal government will insist on paying compensation. Is 15 trillion, as in, is the compensation for the construction of that highway factored in? As in the compensation, is it factored in into this 15 trillion? Or there's going to be another set of money earmarked for compensation of this? And the federal government is saying that they will make sure that they complete this project. For now, they are stalling every existing, road project. What's your take on that?
When it comes to road construction, compensation is also involved in that, in the budget. Let me put it that way. In the budget being that will be released for the constructors or for the engineers or contractors to work with. Now, it's left for the ministry to do the compensation, not the contractor. So it is the duty of the ministry to do the compensation. Now, telling us about the 15 trillion naira and all of that, the Lagos-Calabar way, it came so sudden. At least, if you want people to move out from a particular area to a new area based on construction, you give time ahead. It will give them time to look for a new site and also move at the same time. But it just came, all of a sudden it just came, and before we could say jack, demolition has already started, which is very, very, very unfair. Now, coming to that figure, they keep telling us the 15 trillion naira. In fact, it's no longer a news about that amount. So what we are only saying is that I believe that this administration wants Nigerians to see that it is a white elephant project, whereby it's a very big project and that they are working towards that. But that is not the reason why other federal government roads should be stalled as it is now. So, but all the same, we'll keep watching and know what the government of the federal government.
They said new roads,
not the already, because I know that our own is still under construction.
They said new roads. There will be no federal government rules out new roads in 2025. Plans to complete existing projects.
Yes, that's also part of what I'm trying to say.
So if there is no road in your community, forget about it until the Calabar Lagos
That is
highway
the thing, but these are the things that we face. Let's use the Enugu to Onitsha expressway as a case study. We know how long it took them to complete just from Oka to Onitsha. That's the right lane, and now they've started. We knew how long it took the administration of Buhari to complete just one lane leading to Oka to Onitsha. Now, this administration has started the second lane, of which there is much progress now based on what I'm saying. So the only problem that we may have is how long will it take to complete this project? But don't be surprised that in the 2025 budget that it might resurface again, or new roads might even resurface again in the budget from the Ministry of Works. And at the end of the day, it won't be done or completed. Let's just watch and see how long it will take, because in these roads, you have to tell us how long it will take. If it will be 15 months, if it's 18 months.
Of course, that should be factored in.
That's so that we can know how long we are waiting for the function of the road.
Now, still talking about this Lagos-Calabar highway, in the present situation of things in Nigeria, as things are right now, spending 15 trillion naira on Lagos-Calabar highway, is it actually necessary? Sincerely speaking, if I may ask, is it necessary? We are battling with insecurity, food shortage, naira devaluation, and a whole lot. You know, people can't even earn salaries well, as in the economy is in shambles, and then we are, earmarking 15 trillion to build a super highway. Now, what is the viability of that Lagos highway? Lagos-Calabar highway.
I've always said that Nigeria is a very rich country, but the citizens are poor. Nigeria is a very rich country. So the construction of that road, spending 15 trillion naira on that road, is viable. But on the other hand, people are hungry. And if this administration wants to reduce hunger in Nigeria, they can do it. They can do it. It's just that we have selfish leaders that don't care what the people that they're leading, the people that put them in power. And you know that when it comes to public office of the people is the highest office. Those are the people that put you in office. You have to make life to be better. Okay, just look at how long it took the federal government to approve just the minimum wage. Okay, the 70, which was just 70,000 naira. And even at that, the 70,000 naira cannot even buy a bag of rice in the market today. So if the federal government wants life to be bearable for Nigerians, they can do it. It's a very simple mathematics. It's very simple. But our leaders don't care about the people that they are leading. That is their problem. And what they believe on is that that they are not feeling the heat that the people are suffering. They go into office, make public investment of public funds, and then get away with it. So they don't even care. They don't feel what the people are suffering. They don't even, when it comes to, we cannot boast of a quality, functional government health sector in this country. Then why is that our leaders, whenever they fall sick, they travel out of the country and then get quality health medication and then come back? So you see, they don't feel it. And that is one of our problems that we have with our leaders. We need competent leaders that when they get into office, people around will not be able to feel that they are suffering. That is our problem in this country.
Thank you so much for that. Let's go to the next paper we'll have for review, and that's the Nation newspaper. The banner headline is talking about no room for subversive moves federal government wants. We've seen that. Minister ASUU to meet on Monday over strike threat. Budget 2025 to focus on essential projects. Ongoing road works will be completed, says Umahi. 51% of farming areas threatened by flooding. First Lady gives 185 billion grants to 37,000 women petty traders. Wow, that's laudable. And then we have police officers, 7 others locked in battle for Osun Town 2. We have a copyright agency seizes suspected pirated books worth 50 million in Lagos. That you can find on page 28. Quickly, let's see what we have on the Guardian newspaper. And the Guardian is talking insurgency in Northeast. Thousands in dire straits as supports dry up in border towns. And then you can see the caricature picture of what people in the ID camps are going through. Don't destroy PDP, Dele Momodu warns as party crisis worsens. Owando completes $783 million Ajib acquisition deal. Wow. Knocks for immigration over passport fee hike. Chinese firm continues seizure spree with another Nigerian jet in Canada. And also, CGN, Tinubu to swear in Kekere Ekun as Ariola retires. Court discharges 6 NSAS protesters after 4 years. Wow, that's really, really interesting. Not too long, you were saying about the sufferings of Nigerians and then the government doing little or nothing to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. There in the front page of the Nation newspaper, you can see the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, handing checks to a lady, and then the caption is, First Lady gives 185 billion grants, if I'm not...
I think that should be 1 point.
Okay, 1.8 billion naira grants to 37,000 women petty traders. What do you think about that?
It's not all about the grants, although I've not done the mathematics to know how much each of the grants.
From the information is somewhere giving 50,000, somewhere giving 100,000.
So is a petty trader, let's say the person sells pepper and tomatoes, 50,000 naira cannot buy a full basket of tomatoes.
So you're saying that the money is needed?
The money, we don't even need all these grants. If you want to give us grants, the two major areas where this federal government should target their grants is in education. In fact, this what do we call this loan of education? This education loan, students' loan. It shouldn't be students' loan. It should be students' grants, because we Nigerians, we know many Nigerians that get students' grants from foreign countries. So it should be student grant, not even a student, not even students' loan. So if you want to give grants, let it be in the health aspect and in the educational aspect. Now, coming to petty traders, you cut down the cost of things you make food security, you invest more in agriculture. Once you invest more in agriculture and the state government works on the roads, you find out that foods will be cheap. Food items will be cheap. So empowering a petty trader that sells pepper or tomatoes, or even let's say that a petty trader that is a fish monger in the market, 50,000 naira cannot even buy a carton of fish. So where is the grant going into? The person will say, okay, let me use it and feed my family first before investing more in my business. That is the thing. We don't need this. We are more than this. This was how the past administration deceived us by giving us, was it not 10,000 cash, what they call it, cash transfer, to traders? What would Nigeria is so, as our leaders are not encouraging enough. Okay, they are giving out 50,000 to 37,000 persons, but when they leave office, we keep hearing about EFCC running after them with huge amount of money that they use, that they embezzle from public office, and say that are giving us grants of 1.885 billion naira. It's not. We don't need a grant in this to empower petty traders. No, invest the grants in education. Let students have access to students' grant, not even student loan. Then coming to health, let us have access to health insurances and all that. If not, that life will be so easy and Nigerians will enjoy Nigeria. Nobody will talk about leaving the country because life is good. So when you cannot provide the social needs or the minor social amenities that a state needs, then what is the essence of you being a leader of that state?
Well, that's a question we need to ask them, those in power. Then, in the front page of the Guardian newspaper, we are seeing thousands in their streets as supports dry up in border towns. Where the government, the First Lady was sharing 1.85 billion in Delta State. We are seeing people in the IDP camps going without food. Yet all this is happening in Nigeria. And federal government fumes as terrorists kill 12 and abduct minors in Niger State. So we're still having this issue of insecurity all over the country. and then the hunger and bad governance. In fact, in one of the papers we saw where 4 protesters from the NSAS were released. You understand? After 4 years being in detention.
Talk about the IDP camp. Nigeria has outgrown that. Every year, you tell a group of people there will be flooding, leave your place of habitat, leave your ancestral homes, leave this particular area, and then go to a particular place. Then once the flooding and rain is over, you come back. We have outgrown that. Let's say, for instance, if I'm the one living in that particular area, that means every year there's tendency that let's say I'm a student, there's every tendency that during the rainy season, I will not be able to go to school to have access to quality education at that particular period, and then I will leave and then come back. It's tiring. It's not good. Nigeria should have grown this flood issue. I mentioned it that one of the reasons that causes this flood is when our rivers has overgrown their banks. What happens? Floods. When we don't have good waterways, what happens? Floods. If these 2 things should be worked on, flood will be reduced. If they don't know what to do, the Ministry of Environment should organize seminars for their directors and even the minister itself. They should even try to go to other countries that has already worked on their flood issues to know how they did it, attend there, get the knowledge, bring it to Nigeria, and it will work. Educate Nigerians, educate the ministries, educate the commissioners, let it come from the top to the bottom. Of this. It will help to curb these floods. Now, coming to the NSAS and N governance people that were arrested, it's only when it comes to getting the Nigerians, in fact, harmless Nigerians, that our security officers bring out their powers. Federal government, they are fuming. They did not even mention that the federal government has already sent what do we call it? Troops of army to rescue them. They're just fuming. Last week we heard about 20 medical students that were kidnapped. And now this is the time that all these police that we are shooting those that that we are protesting for end governance rather. Last few weeks ago, they were shooting them with real bullets. This is the time for them to go to the bush and rescue those 20 medical students that were kidnapped and these 12 other people that were kidnapped recently. This is the time. When it comes to attacking harmless individuals or citizens of this country, that is when the security officers will come up and show us their power. Then when it comes to attacking these terrorists, the bandits, these kidnappers, they will all dodge. Why? Nigeria, is it that the government doesn't even give them enough resources, or they don't present budget to fight terrorism and all of that? Nigeria will be healthy.
No problem. Quickly, let's take the remaining papers for review this morning, starting with the Daily Trust. Kaduna villagers accuse soldiers of killing 3 persons, 100 cows. Demand compensation. Army chief orders investigation. You have North Central members insist on APC chairmanship. Kanu Water contract scam. 3 local government chairmen in agency's custody. National Hospital plans VIP section for president. That's welcome. Curfew in Sokoto community as youth protest killing of district head. Chinese firm seizes another Nigeria's jet in Canada. Israeli forces kill 42 Palestinians in fresh attacks. We have how NTA driver was stabbed to death in Abuja. Let's see what we have on the Tribune. Federal government, Niger killings. Federal government orders agencies to track foreign miners funding banditry. Bans mining in Chiruru site, vows to avenge killing of 12 miners. Those who think they can invade villages, kill innocent people to make way for illegal mining of their rich minerals will be shocked to discover that It's no longer business as usual, with the mining marshals working with the intelligence community, who shall fish out the hoodlums and put their hands to the fire. Power sector, Minister mulls differential tariffs to stimulate demand. And then says grid connection, cheapest, most reliable. Adeleke issues directives on food inflation, fuel prices, people's welfare. Ariwala bows out as CGN, signs of new Supreme Court rules. AGF cautions against subversion of democratic government. Tinubu to swear in Kekere Ekun as CGN today. On the mast there, we see ICPC warns against undermining Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. Owando completes $783 million Nigerian Ajib Oil Company acquisition deal, as NPC says Owando, Wale Tinubu have no equity in OVH. And then let's take the blueprint, the last paper for review this morning. The blueprint, as police awaits Ajero on alleged treason, federal government warns against subversive acts, louds Ariola on retirement, plans to change narrative in justice sector. Kekere Ekun steps in today as new CGN. We have on Kaduna at the mast there, COAS orders investigation into alleged killing of 3 herders, 100 cattle. 2025 budget will be based on needs. Assessment, says Bajamia Miller. Terrorists killed 13 in Niger. Tinubu mounts slain Sokoto monarch. Northern Coalition blasts Sokoto government. Police loud Mba over kidnappers' den. Police nab woman for allegedly using hot iron on teenager. We never invaded churches. That's coming from Army. NICOM to blacklist managers of failed insurance firms. Dangote refinery may face production delay amid testing phase. Quickly, it's really sad one. Villagers accusing soldiers of killing 3 persons and 100 cows in Kaduna. It's that a break of law, or I really wouldn't understand what. Is the army not meant to protect citizens, defenseless citizens of Nigeria? Go about killing and then 100 cows for that matter?
They are meant to, just as I earlier stated before, that we only see their powers or their strength when they are facing harmless citizens. Then when it comes to facing these terrorists causing insecurity in our country, we won't see their strength. They won't show off their strength. So I don't know, even during the end bad governance, we also heard a news where they shot a teenager, and the boy died. So you see, and that teenager was a harmless protester. So you see, they only show their strength when they are facing harmless protesters. And let me attach it to the aspect of the federal government releasing 4 NSAS protesters from 4 of them after 4 years. The federal government are also guilty of what the security personnel go through. Now, let me ask, how many, should I say, bandits has been arrested, tried, and jailed? How many terrorists has been arrested, tried, and jailed? And now you held someone under custody for 4 years, at the end of the day, you discharge the person. As in, what our leaders are doing to harmless and hungry Nigerians is uncalled for.
Wow, that's interesting. National Hospital plans VIP section for president. That's on the front page of Daily Trust. Is that going to curb the, let's say, the medical tourism of most of our leaders in Nigeria? What's your take on that?
We are talking about VIP for the president. Is it just for the president or for members of his executives.
They say for the president.
Okay, for the president. What about poor Nigerians that cannot even afford?
No, this is VIP section.
I know. Hold on. Let's come to the grassroots of community health centers, where let's say in a community, a pregnant woman cannot even go to a government community health center to put to bed. They're talking about VIP section. What makes the difference between why can't the president go to his community health center and get treatment or whatever thing? Why didn't the VIP
the
treatment?
president is not from Abuja, so
No,
you don't leave Abuja and go to Osun State or Lagos State as the case may be.
He's not from Abuja, but we have 6 local areas in Abuja.
Yes, so?
Yes, now and
okay, let him go to
don't they? Yes, don't they get budgets? They do. So
Monday, this is the president of Nigeria we're talking about.
This is the president of Nigeria we're talking about. Yeah. But the president should also, first of all, give to the people. Give to the people. Let the people have access to quality healthcare centers. Anyway, I don't want to campaign for anybody or to mention, but I know some people in this country that are their money can help them acquire quality health care outside Nigeria, but they visit Nigerian hospitals for their health care. So you see how you make your bed, you learn it. Okay, when they give you that VIP as a president, the people that you are leading, we don't need the VIP in our hospitals. All we need is just the community health centers. Let them be provided with these facilities. Then at the end of the day, you find that all these facilities, all these health centers that we have in our communities, and what they can provide is just paracetamol and Panadol. That's what this thing. Anyway, it's also a welcome development, and I also want to applaud in that area. But let's watch and see if the president will make use of the hospital, the VIP section, and also the facilities. Let's watch and see if he will make use of them.
Okay, let's wrap up with this sports story. Para-Olympics, win gold, get $15,000. The sports minister charges athletes. What's your take on that, based on the fact that we went to the Olympics and then we came back empty-handed? And now the minister is telling the Para-Olympians to go there, get a gold, and get $15,000. That is about 24 million naira.
You know what the problem we have in this country is? The people, we don't recognize the qualified. We only recognize the unqualified. We won't say that the Olympic game came to Nigeria or to the ministry by surprise. There should be training before now. There should be provision of, if it is, let's talk about the swimming. That's in the area of the gymnastics, the swimming aspect. Olympic have their pool standard. We can create it in Nigeria for the training of the people that are going there. Is it when you use a 3-feet pool standard for training and you get to the Olympic, I find out that what they are using is 10-feet pool standard? What will become of it? And I believe that the organizers of the Olympic Games give these countries their standards of the standards and the rules in this competition.
These athletes are even professionals. They go to other meets, not just the Olympics.
That's the thing.
So you know what is obtainable.
You know what is there is that, as I earlier mentioned, the training. You cannot tell me that you've not trained for the past, let's say, 2 years. And all of a sudden, they tell you, pack your bags and start going to Olympics. And moreover, it might be like, let's say, okay, I know this person. I know Mr. A. His child has been running from childhood. Let's just put him there. and then you carry someone that is unqualified, that is not a professional in that aspect, and put. So telling the
Olympians.
Olympians that they should get good. How well did you train them to get this good? Because if you did not train them, they will not be competent enough to even win bronze.
But this is more like an incentive. I didn't read anything about telling the athletes that went to the Olympics, this is what you get for winning gold. So since nothing happened in that aspect, I feel maybe the Nigeria Olympic Committee under the sports ministry is now telling us that to encourage these athletes.
Apart from to encourage them, it's not
if
a matter
you
of
win a gold, you get 15. And I'm sure that Nigerians will win this gold medal in this Para-Olympics.
It's not a matter of encouragement. You cannot encourage someone that is not qualified for such competition.
No, most of these Nigerians
are qualified. But they are not. But did we experience their trainings? Did we experience the provision of the gadgets given to them during the training? Because this thing is not like a Nigerian affair where you can use whatever thing. This is an Olympic competition, and for it's just like, let's say, FIFA. You use FIFA standard for training because you're going for FIFA competition.
Of course.
That's the thing. They should use Olympic standard for the training because they're going for the Olympic competition. But they are not used. So encouraging them when they are not well trained is not. It's not like telling a teacher, encouraging the teacher, okay, keep teaching, you will do well. When that teacher is not trained in that aspect, what do you expect? So let's we are not trying to witch hunt them, but we wish them well. Let them put in their best and ensure that they win the gold, and also let them make Nigerians proud as usual.
Thank you so much, Emandi, for your submission on that, and thank you so much for making yourself available to join us today for today's press review on the 22nd of August 2024. Thank you so much. Well, on my part, we'll still definitely continue on the discussion segment. Don't go anywhere. Good morning. We'll be right back. My name is still Ajochukwu Okabwe. Thank you for watching.